Hi, this is Jack Godfrey, and this is Intermediate Qigong. Today, we're going to be focusing on the various stances, various movements that help with stability, mobility, and balance. So we'll be putting weight on one leg, shifting weight to another leg, taking weight completely off one leg. Also working on moving our torso from place to place. So rather than doing a series of movements from one of the Qigong sequences, we're going to be focusing instead on what's going on with our body. Some foundational stuff, if you wish. Now, I offer 3 videos a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday is this one, Intermediate Qigong. On Wednesday, we have Beginner Qigong. And on Friday, we have Beginner Tai Chi. And in the Beginner Tai Chi, we're focusing on the Yang style of Tai Chi, the 24 form. On Saturday, I offer a live class on Zoom, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Atlantic time zone, which is 8 a.m. Eastern time zone. So if you're interested in attending the live class, send an email to jack.godfrey49@gmail.com and we'll get you added to the distribution list. So let's get started with today's class about standing on our 2 feet, improving our stability, our mobility, and our balance. So this is Intermediate Qigong, and today we're focusing on our various stances. But as always, we're going to warm the body up first. So get the qi moving, getting the blood moving, getting the muscles doing some work before we actually get into the rest of the session. And you'll notice over here on the side, I've got a few additional props for today, a chair and a yoga block. So before we get started, we're going to pull down the heavens 3 times. So it's inhale, we turn to the right, gather the qi from the earth, reach up to the heavens, stretching the hands away from the body. Turn the head to the opposite shoulder, turn to the opposite side. And then exhale, we bring that qi down in to the brass basin. So inhale, we gather the qi from the earth. And then exhale, we bring it down from the heavens and in to the brass basin. Last one. And next, we're going to move into embracing the heart, our standing move. So the feet are parallel. We're in our narrow stance here. So the toes are pointing straight ahead, equal weight on both feet. Now, shift the weight to one of the feet. So we're on this leg here. So all the weight's here. I can take this guy and nothing much happens. So now what you want to do with this foot over here is you want to lift the toes, lift the heel. So you're resting on the ball joint of the foot. Swing the heel around and it should just about touch the ball joint of the other foot. Can be a little gap, can be a little overlap, as long as we're near. Now lift the toes again, lift the heels again, swing back so the feet are parallel, and this is our narrow stance. And now move into the small triangle and the large triangle. So small triangle, big toe, little toe, and the ball joint. But the heel stays on the floor. We move forward, put weight in the toes. And then large triangle, big toe, little toe, heel. Shift the weight into the heel, but keep the toes on the floor. So this is really a matter of pressure. So we have pressure in the heels, or so we have pressure in the toes. And so the weight just shifts gently forward and back while keeping the foot on the floor. So next we look at from here. So standing here, the knees are slightly bent. So we're not down a whole lot, but we don't want to lock the knees either. So you let them bend a little bit. You pull the belly button in, you lift the ribs, you drop the shoulders down the back. We lift the chin, we gaze to the horizon. So we're looking off into the distance. where the earth meets the heavens. And now we have a dragon's back and a turtle back. So we're working the torso. So you lift the ribs, you lift the chin, you lift the tailbone. We're stretching the front of the body. And so this is a dragon's back. So we have lots of opening in the front. And then we do the opposite. So you tuck the tailbone in, you drop the chin, you round the spine, you bring the shoulders forward, and this is a turtle back. And so when we come forward, typically we have a dragon's back, and when we go back, typically we have a turtle back. And now let's bring the hands up, elbows wide, thumbs about the same height as the collarbone, fingers are pointing towards each other. Imagine we're holding a chi ball and we're pulling it into the upper chest. And inhale, we come to the small triangle. Exhale, we come to the large triangle. So inhale, the ribs lift slightly as we move forward. Exhale, the ribs drop slightly as we move back. This is embracing the heart. So inhale, draw the chi up through the soles of the feet into the brass basin. And exhale, send the chi out through the center of the palms from the brass basin. So inhale, we come forward. And exhale, we come on back. And exhale. And we'll do one more here. And we let the arms come on down. So that was our standing posture. Next, we're going to move into some warm-up for the various muscles in the body, getting the chi flowing to the extremities. So the problem is, as we grow older, our feet and our hands get cold and our head gets hot, which means that the chi has been moving from the extremities into the torso, into the head, and the feet and the hands are not getting as much nourishment as they usually need. And so the shaking the nine gates counteracts that, along with many other individual movements in Qigong. And so what we're looking to do is get the chi back out to the extremities, cool the head down, warm up the hands and the feet. So we start with our hands are wet. Shake our hands. And we get the shoulders involved as well. So the nine gates, 3 of them are the elbows, the wrists, and the shoulders. So you have the shoulders going up and down. And then we add in the knees, the hips, and the ankles. And also the torso. So we turn and look over the shoulder. Come back to the front. We turn and we look over the opposite shoulder, getting a good twist in the spine. So we inhale here. Exhale as we look over the shoulder. Inhaling. And exhale. And we'll do once more on each side. And we come back to the front. We should have some tingling going on in the hands. We should have a little bit of color in the hands as well. This is us getting the chi out to the extremities. Our hands should be warm. Our feet should be warm. And so this is all good stuff. Next, we're going to do is standing on a boat. So you move on to the small triangle. You lift the ribs. So this is a dragon's back here. We look up. Then we move back into the large triangle. We drop the ribs. We tuck the tailbone in. We add the arms to this. So it's inhale. And exhale. Inhale, small triangle with a dragon's back. Exhale, large triangle with a turtle back. So it's inhale, we come up. And exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. So we'll do one more of these. All right, and so that was standing on a boat. So now we're going to move into looking at our various stances and what they do for us. So stability, mobility, and balance. One of the important things is to be comfortable with moving our weight from one leg to another, from the heel into the toes. And so there's that moving of the weight. Also, we need to have a flexible torso as well. So being able to turn and look over the shoulder, being able to shift the weight into the toes and stretch the body as we look up, or do the opposite and look down. So keeping our torso flexible and being aware of where's the weight in our feet. Now, as we get older, our balance becomes more of an issue, and part of it because we've lost connection with our feet, with our hips, and with our torso. And so part of what we're up to today is working on that. I have here my able assistant, Mrs. or Mr. folding chair. And so if my balance is an issue, I can grab onto the chair. So we're going to have this guy here just in case of need. So the first thing that we're looking at is, well, we already covered several, the small triangle, the large triangle, the narrow stance. Now we're going to look at what's called dotting. And so this is when we're moving our weight we're moving a leg from one place to another. And so, for example, we're here and we want to move forward. So what you do is you put weight in that front foot. You lift the heel of the back foot. And now, grab a hold of the chair, just in case. Bring that back foot up so the toe of, in my case, this is the left leg, is touching by the heel of the right leg. So this is dotting, whereas just the toe is touching the ground. It also may be the ball joint is doing it, whatever's going on. And then we step forward, we step out to the side, or we step back. There's many things you can do. This dotting is preparatory. It's preparing us for moving from one place to another. So all the weight's on this leg. And we step forward and we do something with this foot. Now let's have a look with the other leg. So we're here, all the weight's on this leg. This foot's back here, let's say, so you shift the weight here. The knee is bent and the foot's pointing more or less straight ahead. We dot either with the toe or with the ball joint. And then we do something with this leg. But this knee is bent, this leg is straight. So that's moving forward. Let's look at it moving backwards. So we're here like this. And we don't want to go forward anymore. So you shift the weight into the back foot. And then you can bring this foot here and have it be once again, near the heel, near the ankle. And the knee is bent and the heel is lifted here. And now I can do something with this leg. I can step back, which I usually lead with the toes, and then put the heel down, and then bend this knee, and now most of the weight's back here, and I could do something with this foot. So dotting. And if I need some assistance, I grab a hold of the chair. So we're here like so. And then I can step forward. I can do whatever I need to do with that leg. So let's do dotting with the other leg. So once again, here I am. I was about to take a step, and for some reason I changed my mind, and now I step back and I dot by the heel. And maybe I want to go all the way back, or I want to step out to the side for some reason. So dotting, it's on the way from some place to another place. So most of the weight is in this leg. Or if I'm dotting with the other foot, knee is lifted, heel is lifted, all the weight's on this leg. If I need a bit of support, I can touch the chair, and I'm dotting with the heel beside the toe. Now let's look at it from the side. So here we are here. I'm in the narrow stance, shift all the way to the leg closest to the curtain. I lift the heel, the knee is bent. Now it's important, the hips stayed still. It's not a case of me lifting the hip up. And we're here, the heel is by the toe, and I can do whatever I wish. So I'm here, and I could step back. I come here and I dot, and I step forward. I'm here, and I step out to the side. I step in. I can step forward, here, here, or here. And if I need balance, I have a chair to work with. So dotting, a transition. We're going from one place to another. Now there's another pose very much related to that, another movement. So dotting, I'm bringing the leg forward, from a forward position, from a backward position, from an out wide. So I'm here as well. Let's get the chair out of the way a little bit. And so dotting, I can bring it here. So I can be from standing in a wide stance. I shift all the way to this leg, and I'm here. And then I can go forward, here. I can go backwards, whatever's happening. So that's dotting. Now the other one, very closely related to that, is called a half step. And instead of taking a full step, it's a half step. So here we are. I have weight in this front leg and weight in the back leg. And for whatever reason, I don't want to, take a normal walking step. What we're looking to do is a half step. And usually that's because I've got the weight in this foot, but I don't want it there anymore. I want to go in some other direction. And so one of the things you can do is you can come up and you do what's called a half step. So the ball joint of this foot is lined up with the heel of this foot, and there's a little gap in there. So we're here like this, and you do a half step, and it's all the weight's still here. We've got some weight here. So now you can decide, do I want to have weight on this leg still, or do I want to put weight here? And now I can do whatever I need to do with this foot. And so that's half step. Now let's look at it with the other leg. We're here, and we take a half step with the back leg. And it comes up, and we're standing near the heel. And there's a space between the feet as well. Now let's look at it in the other situation. So we'll come a little bit forward here. And now we want to, in essence, step backwards. But rather than going the whole distance, because I'm not sure what's behind me, I just want to move back by my foot. And so you want to have the ball joint lined up with the heel. And then I can shift the weight into this foot or into the other foot. So that's half step. The next one we're going to look at is called, it's got many names, as most Qigong stuff has. It's called false step, cat's paw, testing the water. The names just go on, but they all have the same thing going on. We're not committing to put weight into the leg that's forward. So once again, the chair's here in case we need some balance. So I'm just going to bring it a little closer here. So holding on to the chair, all the weight's on the leg next to the chair. You take this foot and we dot. So remember, the hip does not lift. So the hips stay level, the knee is lifted, the heel is lifted, and we're resting by the heel of the other foot. And if you need some balance, we hold on to the chair. You step forward and you touch the floor with the toe. The rest of the foot is lifted. There's no weight in this foot. And so this is a false step or a cat's paw. We're checking to see if it's safe to put weight on the foot on whatever surface is in front of it. So all the weight's in this leg back here. And so from here, you could go back to dotting, you could go back to half step, or you could commit and put weight in that front foot. Let's look at it with the other foot and without the chair. So you sink into this leg, you pull the belly button in, you bend the knee, and you imagine putting all the weight down into the earth. We lift the heel, we lift the knee, keep the hips stationary. The foot roughly beside the heel of the other foot. And now we step forward and we sort of touch with the toe. All the weight remains back here. The knee is bent. And this leg, we've got just a little bit of weight here. We're not committing at all. Until at some point we go, nope, I don't want to go there, and I'm going to step back. And so now all the weight's back here. So we come up here, we dot, and we go, is it safe? Do I want to move in this direction? So that's the false step. Now, one of the things we've been doing, and this works into our balance as well, is when we step forward, we have space between our legs. So we're here, and we're here. So this is, the feet are close together. But when I step forward, I have space between my feet this way. And this gives me, and I can put weight in the front foot, I can put weight in the back foot, like so. And this is the idea of stepping on railroad tracks where you have two rails side by side with space between them. And you put one foot on either rail of the track as we step forward, as opposed to a tightrope or a monorail where you have the feet, we're walking on a plank. I'm sure you've seen some gymnasts, on the high beam where they're just walking along that narrow space. That's not what we're looking to do here. As part of our stability, mobility, and balance, you want to be able to have lateral stability as well. So let me just move the chair out of the way for a moment. So C-stepping, also known as task walking. As we know, any good movement in Qigong and Tai Chi has multiple names. So this must be a good one. C-stepping, task walking. So you start here. And you have the feet turned out to the side a little bit. So more or less straight ahead, fully off to the side, about halfway, about 45 degrees, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Put all the weight in this leg. So we sink it down. You pull the belly button in, bring the hips down into the earth. The weight is here on this leg. This knee is bent. Now, dot. Imagine that, dotting. And now the foot's pointing this way. So you follow the direction that foot's pointing. And this is false step. And then you swing it off to the side and you put the weight in the heel and land on the toes. Important point here. This back foot is turned off to the side a little bit. This front foot is pointing straight ahead. My hips are facing straight ahead, as is my torso. The knee is bent and the weight's in this front foot. The back leg is straight, the heel is pressing down. Most of the weight here, some of the weight here. Now, we want to take our next step. Come back into the back leg because we want to turn this foot to the side a little bit. Again, that 45 degrees or so. And then put weight in this. So we were pointing straight ahead. We shift, we turn, and the hips turn. And now I'm facing this way. Put all the weight on this leg. Come up, dot by the heel. Follow the direction this foot's pointing in. Reach forward a comfortable distance. And then swing over here. And the foot, we put weight in the heel. The foot is pointing straight ahead. The back foot's turned off to the side a little bit. And we have that space between the feet. C-stepping, task walking. How to get from one place to another. And so here we are, we're about to take a step, and it's like, oh, something's happening or whatever. We change our mind. We say, we want to go somewhere else. So we shift the weight back here. Now all the weights come off this guy. We dot. And we have the heel lined up beside the toe. Sorry, the big toe is lined up by the heel. And now it's like, okay, I want to go back even further. So we step back and this foot's turned to the side. Or it's like, okay, I want to take the other foot forward. So you take this foot, you put weight on this guy now, and we dot with this one. And we go, right, where are we going? Are we going back? Are we going forward? So all of this is us learning how to shift weight from one leg to another. The last one we're going to look at, and then we're going to wrap up for today, is mountain pose. And now I need my yoga block, which has been sitting over there in the corner this whole time. Mountain stance, another great one for developing mobility, stability, and balance. So what I have here is just a regular yoga block. This one has to be made out of a high density foam. You could also use a one-step stool, but today this is what I'm up to. So mountain stance, and you may need a chair for this as well. What we're looking to do here is develop, walking on an uneven surface. So we're used to having our weight go from side to side. And the more that we practice this, the more stable and mobile we'll become. So you have the foot here on the floor, and we're going to step forward, but we're going to put our foot on the block. And if you need, you put your hand on the chair as well. Key point here, before you commit weight to the block, have the knee directly over the ankle. Let's show it from the side. It's a little clearer here. So we're here. And we're not that far away from the block. So you can dot, and we step up. Knee has to be over the ankle, because what happens if it's back here, the block is going to slide, and we don't want that to happen. So let's get the block the way we want it. And the other thing with these blocks is you want to make sure the whole foot fits. And it's important that the heel is on and the ball joint is on. So if you have a smaller block, you might want to get one that's a little longer. So we come up, and the foot is here. The knee is over the ankle. And in my case, the head's over the knee, over the ankle as well. And now you lift up. The back heel comes up off the floor. You can leave it here like this, and if you need, you can use the chair for some balance. But what we're going to do next is you dot in the air, and then we come down here. So we're back here like so. So mountain stance, we're here. And imagine you're walking, you're climbing a mountain, and the surface is uneven. So you take a step, and then we step here, and now the foot's a little higher. And it's like, yeah, whatever. And we move on to where we're going to next. Let's look at it coming to the front. Get the chair out of the way for a moment. We're here, and we're going to use the opposite leg. So we just took a step, and now uneven terrain. You want to put the foot on. You want to have the knee over the ankle, the head over the knee, and we take the weight. So you lift the back heel, and you can keep the toe on the floor. So this is dotting with the foot back behind us. And if you wish, you can bring it up beside the heel as well. You could also show off by lifting the foot, and maybe in that case, you're going to go, okay, fine, my chair is my friend. Or you can go, well, maybe it's not so much. And then after a while, you go, yeah, this isn't a big deal. So mountain stance, along with many others, false step, C-step, task walking, narrow stance. The list just goes on and on. Small triangle, large triangle. Yeah, well, there's many others in my list here, but one of them is, it's related to this false step. So we're here, foot points off to the side. We do that C-stepping, and we go, I'm not sure if I want to put my weight here. But what after a while you go, yeah, this seems to be working. And you shift the weight here, which means you bring the heel down. Now there's another stance very much related to this, where you lift the toes up and you point the toes up to the heavens. Looks better from the side. So we're here, foot's pointing this way a little bit. We do a C step and we go, is it safe? This is the false step. So the heel's up in the air. And then you go, yes, it is. I'm going to commit to this step. And so you bring the heel down, you shift the weight, but now we want to put the weight back in the other foot. So you lift the toes, and the toes are and this is called 7-star stance, because the toes are pointing up to the 7 stars of the Big Dipper. And we could also do various things with the arms here as well. So a bonus one, 7 stars. We're here, we step forward, and you can go directly into the 7 stars, or you can get there from the false step. So I'm going, is the water safe? Do I want to commit to this foot? And yes, it is. And the way we're committing in this particular one for the particular movement we're doing is we want to have the toes lifted, 7-star stance. All right, so now we're going to do one last movement here, and then we're going to wrap up for the day. And this is crescent moon. And it's going to be using, you have a choice here, you can use the false step or the 7-star stance in this particular one. So crescent moon, you bring the hands, you shift all the weight to this leg. You bring the legs, get all that weight. Arm comes up, and you push the palm up to the heavens. The other hand comes down here and pushes across. So we're sort of pushing the body this way. Now, the leg, usually the first thing we get in place, we're kind of working backwards today. It's pointing to the side, and we're going to turn the head, and we're going to look this way as well. You can do a false step with that leg, or you can do a 7-star stance. Actually, a 7-star stance is the better choice here, because you do want a little bit of weight in this leg. And then we move to the opposite side. So as we come back to the center, you turn this foot and you point it straight ahead. Shift the weight. So the hands were like this. So you come down, we're facing front, big circle with the arms. We shift the weight. We turn this foot, we point that way. The hands come up overhead. Palm pushes up. Palm pushes the torso to the side. Either false step or 7-star stance. And we look this way. So you're pushing the hips over, and we're pushing the hands up. And then we come back to the center, the foot points forward, we shift the weight, and we move into 7-star stance on this side. And we come back to the center, we come over here. So that's a variation on crescent moon where we're pushing the hips to the side and the weight is shifting from foot to foot, either in 7-star stance or false step, depending on where you want to distribute your weight. So that's all we have for today. Focusing a lot on what's going on with our feet in the various stances. So thank you all for coming.